Hi, are you coming up towards your retirement years? Are you thinking, will I or won't I? Are you a bit apprehensive about what you'll do when your paid employment ceases? I can remember going through that. That was in early 1995. I've now been retired for 28 years. I took retirement, a voluntary redundancy at 59, and I'm still going strong. How do you feel about it? How do you feel about retiring? You're thinking, I can't afford it. Most of us think that way. I can remember my wife saying, no, don't leave, Tom, don't leave. And I had a job I absolutely hated. It was a pain just to go to work. And I thought, I'm not going to wreck my health. Stay on when I got the opportunity to take voluntary redundancy. Okay, my payout wasn't big. And I thought, oh, and I was a bit worried, as you would probably be too. But I took the chance. And I found that on contacting a person who looks after retirees, financial advisor, I could actually qualify for a full pension anyway. So I had enough to get by on. But it is a bit of a leap. My advice to you, though, is if you are thinking about retiring, would perhaps like to retire but think you can't because you can't afford it, unless it's really pressing, unless you have a huge mortgage and huge debts. If you're just doing okay, as most people are, retire. You will never regret it. Retirement then gives you freedom that you've never had since before you started your school days. All through your life, from maybe 5 years of age to the age you are now, middle 50s, maybe 60. You've always had to watch that timetable, always had to kowtow to other people's dominance over your life. Now you can be free in retirement. Wonderful. But what to do with all the time? You can't just sit and watch television. Otherwise that retirement will be very short indeed. I say that because the point is, what keeps us going is our interests, our passions for life. Now, you might think, well, what are my interests? You will know what they are, because all of your life there's been something or other in your life which you've really enjoyed doing, which you would enjoy doing even if you didn't get paid for it. If you're in a job now that you really love, it pays you enough to get by on, it's your passion, your life's work, you're already doing it, don't leave. Keep it up all your life. The point is, though, most people, I'd say the great majority, are in jobs simply to make a living, just to get by, to make the money, to provide the nest egg for when they have the freedom of retirement. You can keep growing that nest egg right up until the day you die. Don't do that. Retire while you're still in good health, while you've still got many years ahead of you. We need to remember nowadays that, well, let's put it this way. My grandfather and his grandfather, they worked to 65 probably. By the time they were 66, 67, they'd died of old age. Doesn't happen nowadays. The average lifespan is over 80. Now you've got to remember, there are exactly the same amount of years between 30 and 50 as there are between 60 and 80. 20 years. I've been retired 28 years. Maybe I'll make it to 30. Just imagine. You retire and you've still got 30 years of living ahead of you. What are you going to do with it? Find the things that you want to do. There's plenty to do. What did I do? 59, I'm out on my own. I'm thinking, what am I going to do? I'll do some voluntary work. I tried a bit here, there and everywhere. Finally found an organisation known as U3A, University of the Third Age, which gave me a chance to learn things and to teach things that I love teaching. You'll have your own interests, whatever they might be, because the good Lord gave us all some talent or another. We've all got it. We've all got an individual talent or talents, which puts us a bit ahead of the average person who hasn't got that talent. And they are looking towards people like us to learn from us. So teaching voluntarily, is one way to spend your retirement. I do a lot of that. Whatever you do, it's up to you, but there will be something that really grabs you, some passion that you love doing. It could be anything, a trade, a craft, a hobby. You know what it is. As I said, you've got a lot of years between when you retire and when you go under. Could be decades, 10, 20, 30 years, if you retire early enough. If you bumble on, if you say, I've got to stay on, and you get to that age where you're old and decrepit, there'll be no joy in retirement. I cannot emphasise strongly enough, if you can afford it, and don't say you can't. If you can afford it, you can retire when you're still in good health. And if you do that, you've got the best years of your life ahead of you. The most productive years, they say, if you're in good health, are between 60 and 70. And your next productive years, 70 and 80. And the next after that, would you believe it? 50 and 60. So we're better into old age in many ways. Retire early. Anyway, let me know what you think about Arthur Thomas's, that's me, Arthur Thomas Ware's ideas on retirement. I'd like to hear them.